boring wells to bring life and the presence of Christ into little groups of people around our part of the world who may be having difficulty connecting with church. It seemed like a good idea. It was only as we began to do that we realised there was something called Fresh Expressions of Church around, and we kind of walked into that by accident. But Wells, or boringwells.org, is a little network of fresh expressions of church. At the foot of the cross, there's healing for this nation. But there are groups of people who the cultural differences between them and Inherited Church are so great that they may not be able to find their way into that. So the two things are a group of pioneer missionaries who are willing to do whatever it is required of them to connect with this group of people. So that they need to come together in a neutral place. Perhaps they need to go and live among them. Perhaps they need to find some place or some venue or some activity where the two things blend together. As the gospel is encountered and the living presence of Christ is experienced, the new community of faith will begin to be established and will take roots and will grow into something that is the family of God. But culturally and in shape and in activity will probably be quite different from church as we presently know it.
I feel like God has sent us to anyone in Dunmurry, but mainly at the minute kind of ones from about the age of 4 till about 18, 19 or early 20s, and yeah, just kind of anyone, Catholic, Protestant, middle class, working class, whoever you happen to meet.
So at the minute I am feeling called and sent to the Shankill road, and that's where I am at the minute. I'm living here in a house on the Shankill, and just really desiring to get to know this community, to really become a part of it and to build relationships with people.
Fuse is a group of young people of different levels of faith, but primarily those who have faith want to live it out in front of people in an area called Moneyreagh. We use a tiny strop-in for all sorts of activities like acoustic cafe and barbecues, and we go to five-a-side football, we have waffle afternoons, we do pamper days for girls, and it's just a way to link the two together, and so we fuse. On a Friday night sometimes we have people come and play music and share a little bit about their relationship with God, just very authentically. Out of nowhere sometimes conversations just start about the Holy Spirit or about God, and really we're just trying to come to them where they're at. We do invite people from those different activities that we do to a Sunday night Explorer course that we've been running. The young people who would be Christians are meeting every week to have accountability, to have dinner and discussion, and to try out their understanding of what church is to them. But the dream would be that the guys who are coming on a Sunday night, who are coming on a Friday night, would then start taking on some level of faith, which we do see happening already, but in slow movements. Once they were to grasp who Jesus is to them, then what would be very exciting is for them to start to express that in their own individual way, rather than feeling that they need to fit in to a sort of mould that's been created already. And that is what would be extremely exciting about Fused.
So part of moving in here on the Shankill, one of the aims of that was to get to know people and to get to know my neighbours and to really just become a part of the community. There's a family in the street round the corner from me who we've gotten to know the last few months. For this particular family, they've been going through a bit of a difficult time over the past few months, and there's been various ways in which we, as Christians living here, can really help them and just show them a bit of God's love in how we act and how we treat them. Just the things that they've been going through, we've been able to offer like our support and prayer for those situations, and just being able to say, look, we'll pray for you through this, and we're here if you need anything. Like, my real desire is to just get to know these people, to build stronger and stronger relationships, and through that to work out what are the needs and how can we bring church to these people, how can we create church around what it is they need and how they want to get to know God. So at the minute on the Shankill, there's more than just me living here. There are a few others of us that are gathering around here.
Yeah, I guess we don't really know what we're going to do and what it looks like yet. So we decided that what we'd do is we'd just kind of spend 3 days praying. So we just kind of spent some good time just seeing what God's heart is for this place and what the possibilities are. So we've definitely got food for thought.
So nobody's going to be going to wells in Moneyreagh at the end of this. So the idea behind all of this isn't to push people towards that kind of setting, but just to create an environment where people can connect with God in this place and in these streets.
Well, we're bringing Jesus into Dunmurry through like a number of different things. Like, we have some big outreaches, then we do a kids club every Wednesday night in Church of Ireland Hall, and then we do a drop-in centre on a Saturday night with secondary school age kids, and it's just anyone can come and go. Within Resound, we've anytime there's kind of like a group of guys who are interested in what we're talking about and why we do stuff, we'll start up an alpha for them.
Around a year and a half ago, my brother invited me along to an alpha course, which is kind of an introductory course to Christianity, and it was run by the leaders of Resound. And I came along to that and started learning more about God and more about how God really matters in my life, because that wasn't really something I really thought about that much before. When I went to Alpha, a lot of people who went to Alpha also went to a drop-in centre called Resound, so I was invited onto that. And in Resound, I made lots of new friends, and the leaders that came and talked to me and invited me along to another thing called Restoration. Basically, somewhere in the middle of all this, I decided to be a Christian because it mattered more to me, and started acting like I was a Christian as well.
Well, kind of our new way of doing church is a thing called Restoration on a Sunday, which is very much about kind of restoring ourselves and our faith, and just being a place where you can go and relax and stuff. For a lot of the people who come to it and to anything in Resound, that's their church. They might have links to another church, but they don't really feel at home there or whatever. And so for most people who come, this is actually their church. But it's about really just people can make it their own. So we just kind of do whatever's needed for the group at that time.